All right, lads. Welcome to round 6 review of the Back Yourself podcast. It's Chris here as your host and everything to do with the podcast. But trust me, I'm going to be controversial enough so you guys can get some entertainment out of this, especially once it gets to Sunday. This week of the NRL, I must say, nothing shocked me. And, well, the first one, but other than that, nothing really shocked me. So I'm kind of happy with all the results. And Sunday, well, look, I don't recommend at any point to fast forward our videos simply because everything is entertaining from whoever we talk about. But truly, I can't wait to talk about Sunday's games, both of them. So that's going to happen in a little bit. But to start off, let's start with first bit of coconut water. And then let's get into it. Hopefully my voice is a little better. I was a bit ill last podcast. But we're back. All right, lads. Dolphins, Penrith. Dolphins win this game. Look, the amount of points they scored, couldn't tell you. So let's go figure out how many points they ended up scoring. Going the wrong way. 30 points to 12. The mighty Dolphins now can score. And Penrith, let's just start with their side. Look, do I think they can put it together still? Of course, because I think like Penrith on their day is better than most. But so far, they haven't done anything. And we've got to add in the fact, and I don't think this is talked about enough, how much Vegas has impacted this team. And you can pretty much say that, okay, Vegas may have been a big impact, but you can see Cronulla, Warriors, and Raiders all, still playing okay. Cronulla hasn't played great. Warriors haven't played great. Raiders have probably been the best out of all four of them, to be honest, right now. But still, it does have an effect on your team. And I don't think Penrith are ready for it. I truly think, and it's odd for me to say about a Penrith side, they might have just gone and partied in Vegas. Like, when they beat Sharks, chucked the party, we beat a top 4 team, they didn't have everyone, or they didn't have Toto. They didn't have Toto that game. We didn't have Toto, we're going to go win everything, and we're just so good, we can't be stopped, and then bang, 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 bang. 5 straight losses for 5 straight grand finals. I've heard that the whole week since Thursday. And it's actually incredible. And it's just like non-Penrith-like performances. Like, there's nothing they're doing that is something that they've done in the past. And they've had in the past no Cleary, no Luai. And, okay, they get down the field, they don't score. Or they're just outclassed by a skillful team. No, that's not what's happening. They're truly making just errors. They're looking like idiots. And Penrith don't do that. So for Penrith to go out there and do that is unbelievable to me. I mean, it seems insane. Just sitting back and watching this, I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, this is not Penrith. And it is. And I think some of it, how much has the new kids coming up not being as great as they should be? I mean, Blaze I've been calling for it. I still think he's more dynamic than Cole, even though he made a bunch of mistakes in this game. He's still more dynamic than Cole. And I think that's what Penrith are lacking. And it even puts into question, where's Edwards' impact? I know if you've watched the Back Yourself podcast last year, we thought Teddy got robbed from being the Blues jumper. And he's been great all of this year. So it's pretty hard for Laurie Daly to sit back and go, look, we're going to take Teddy. We're going to keep Edwards again because what Edwards has shown so far is he's trying to expand his game, and I can see it. I can see him throwing the ball more, but not doing it correctly. So he's trying to, broaden his skill set. But for Dylan Edwards himself, he doesn't have that ability. When someone says this is their ceiling, Dylan Edwards has hit his ceiling. Being able to ball play, being able to throw the ball around like Teddy, like Turbo, like Latrell, it's just not going to happen. And he's great at what he does. Make meters, be great support, has a motor like no other, gets it back from their own goal line, and saves them a lot of the time and starts their sets off really well. But throwing the ball around in a backline shift or throwing a cutout, that's not Edwards. And that's something that they seem to need right now. They don't have the creativity. They don't have the ability to break down defenses. Dolphins, for most of that game, the Penrith were just in front of them, and these guys were just moving across, just defending it really well. And Penrith had no answers. Zero answers to the Dolphins' defense, which we've said for weeks is not their forte. They cannot defend properly. And they haven't been able to score until the last 2 weeks, which look who the two teams they gave them a win. But Penrith are truly in dire straits. Because the league is just fucking win-loss, 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 everyone is so close. Like Sharks and Manly, I think, are on the fringe of the 8. Let me just have a look. And they're on 6, right? Sorry, my phone is a bit launched. Manly's on 6. Cronulla's on 6. Tigers are now also on 6. Dragons are on 6. Titans are on 6. Knights are on 6. Cowboys on 6. Everyone's on 6. And when you scroll down, all right, Penrith's on 2. They're 2 wins away. If we had what I assumed the league would be, is that the teams at the front just keep winning, lose to each other, keep winning, then we would have a separation, and then you could be like, all right, these guys are even right off for the 8. I think the top 4 is gone, which was one of my futures bets, which I still have a hold the ticket for right now. Top 4 is out the window. I can't see them going on a huge run and making the top 4, especially with teams like Dogs and Melbourne. They're just going to win most weeks, no matter what, and they're going to make it to they're going to be in the 8. So you got one spot, and if that's going to be Penrith, sure, but I don't think that's going to be which team it's going to be. Penrith are lucky to make the 8 right now. I remember saying 2 weeks ago, you should get on, miss the top 8. I know Hussein talked me out of it, so this guy, all the way on the other side of the world. But he talked me out of it. But I wish I took it at the time. I feel like that ticket is absolute fire at the moment because they're on the slope and it continues to go. And my thing about not making the 4 is the origin period. We haven't even got to the origin period yet. Scary. Absolutely scary. So now we can flip over to Dolphins. I want to be positive because they're my other future, which is them to make the top 8. I want to be positive, but I've seen these performances from another team, which they lost to round 2, and I'm not convinced just yet. I think if you don't have a top 8 ticket and you want to make sure you have a lot of player teams at a good price, probably think about it this week. I think they play Melbourne, so maybe just hold off because holy shit, Melbourne's fucked. But let me just double check that because I don't want to give wrong information on the podcast. I think they play Dolphins. Yeah, what a game that's going to be. Good Friday, Dolphins Melbourne, which wasn't a great game, when you thought about it in the past. But now it's like Dolphins off 2 straight. Melbourne just have annihilated 2 teams in a row. Dolphins seem hot and they're able to score. And that's what we knew going into the season. They should be able to score. They shouldn't be able to defend. They should be able to score. And they did score past this Penrith team. Penrith defense, I get it. No team has actually blown out Penrith yet. So no one's won 13 plus. It's all been by 2, by 4. It's been close in all their matches. This one was an absolute blowout and really should have been more. So maybe you can tip that off to maybe Penrith being okay and not that bad and Dolphins just having a great day at the office. But Dolphins, if you don't have an 8 ticket, it's getting close to that stage, and you kind of got a shit game. You're hoping that they were playing like an 8 side, because around the 8 side, not a team coming first. Because now if they beat Melbourne, that's it. It's going to be like a $2 something. Your price is done. If they don't beat Melbourne, that's probably your best bet. They go to $4 and then they go on a run, something like that. Is it possible? Of course. Like I said about Penrith, it's not done because all of them lose to each other. So you never know. Drink break. I don't know if I'm going to do this every single time, but it makes it, I can cut it out. Not cut it out. I can, cover it. For you guys actually listening, you guys are just going to hear me drink, but. All right. Game 2. On to Friday night. Dragons, Titans. This one was an L. So we had back-to-back L's on Premium. Oh, sorry, I didn't say that first. Premium, 5-3 on the week with 3 in a row to end the round. Yeah, 4 or 5 to end the round, actually. 4 or 5. 4 or 5, yeah, 4 or 5 to end the round. So, good end to the round. That's why I'm hoping for Sunday. But let's start with this one. I took Titans at +4. Went all the way out to 6, which I thought was insane, but clearly not. Let's start with the Dragons front. Zerafrost Brothers, shout out to you, John and James. I still think you're not good. And it pains me to say because I actually want them to play good. But look, I think this was more Titans than Dragons. And they still lack that kicking ability. And Ilias and Flanagan are still shit. And there's so many points left on the board. Like, they scored 36. 38. They scored 38, and I thought they left at least 2 tries on the board. So that's 50. And that's how bad Titans are. So if you put it in perspective, I think every Dragons fan can be like, all right, we left points on the board, but we still scored a lot. Fine. But that just shows how bad the other team is. And we'll get to Titans, but from a Dragons front, there's still a problem in the halves. Will this be paper over the cracks? I think it is, because next week, I don't have any Manly memorabilia here, but I might as well fucking wear a Manly jersey. I can't believe that spread is only 3.5, because Dragons so far have been, okay, we can ambush teams at home. We can play really good at home. Most of our road games are not going to be great because we're just not good enough. And you're just so high variance. So how can you sit there and go, all right, I'm going to take Dragons minus, like, with my only 3 points against a top 8 known side. That, all right, Manly's had their struggles the last couple of weeks, but we know Manly's a top 8 team. And like, I don't think that's any question. But that's next week, and that's more in the preview. But Dragons, congratulations on your win. I don't want to take anything away from you guys. I still think there's problems within the halves, but you guys do have that grit in you. And I thought Val was outstanding in this game. You can kind of tell when Val's going to have a game. It's one of those ones that he kicks every goal, which Zerafos Brothers, I know you guys are not happy with that. But every other game, he misses every goal, he makes the ball. He did this at Cowboys as well. So, look, you get high variance, but Val had a great game. So did the outside backs, all of them. The halves were okay. I don't want to give Ilias or Flanagan any credit. I think they're the nucleus of the problem. And I think they need Atkinson as soon as possible because Dragons don't look like they have halves at the moment. They're playing outside of them. And I think some of their new forwards were great. Egan was fantastic. I think he cracked 100 points in for Supercoach. So if you guys play Supercoach, absolutely incredible. And his try as well, like, capped it off. So I think Dragons, great performance. That end of the first half was something else. And I guess that's kind of a segue onto Titans. Whoa. Incredible. Because I had him in my 8. And as soon as I put him in my 8, they've lost 3 straight. Titans genuinely could come last. And, I mean, you know what? This could be a clip. This could be a clip. So get ready. In my opinion, Titans should be favourite to come last right now. They have everyone. Okay, Kinney's out. Okay, Tino didn't play this game. We have players coming back. There is no reason to lose to Dragons and look like your defense is just paper thin with that lineup. And the Titans fans that are out there that will disagree with me in the comments because, you know, every team I scream at, automatically all their fans just congregate. But what am I watching? And they've won 2 games. Fair enough. The Roosters game, I thought they turned the corner. I looked at that game and I was like, these guys are great. Then I went to the Dolphins game and I was like, you know what? They're going to mess it up if it's true old Titans. And they did. They messed it up against Dolphins. And now I've given them hope, as you can clearly see. And then just fucking shit the bed against Dragons. I mean, shit the bed is the best way to explain that performance for Titans. Absolutely atrocious. There is no reason to let, in my opinion, if you let Dragons continually just walk through the middle of the field, then you could concede 70 to any good side. just breezing through set after set. It was incredible, the end of that first half. Just piss weak defense. And Titans have known to do this in the past, but this early in the season, and what's fascinating is, last year when Tino didn't play the whole year, you guys looked great. And now it's just like, as soon as he's out, we're just fucking giving it in, throwing the towel. If you're a Titans fan, truly you have a long season ahead of you, because right now, every team has hope. All right, there's one team that everyone's going to say, nah, bro, Para doesn't have hope. They do. Mitch is back in 2 weeks. Lomax will be back in 3 weeks. I'm taking in any capacity Moses and Brown over Campbell and Brimson. There's no way I'm going to take the Titans halves over these two. Kinney's going to be out for 4 or 5 months. Probably post-Origin he's coming back. So you still have De Groot, who was great. I thought De Groot was amazing at fullback. But the rest of the team, Guts need a wake-up call. Oh my God, they're bad. Titans, I'm ashamed of taking 4.5. I thought they would go there, have a crack, show their fight like they did against Roosters, but these guys have mailed it in. And the Roosters game, Roosters are 2 and 3. We'll get to them next, which entertained me because I knew they were going to win. At Knights, well, we saw Knights today, up the mighty fucking Tigers, but Knights today, oh my God. So you understand how awful these teams are. So Titans, have shown nothing. And it just shows that they're the same fucking garbage that they were in the past. And I said that in round 3. But then when they beat Roosters, I was like, oh, they're not bad. They could improve. But there's just batches in the game. You guys, it's not even parallel. It's worse than para. There's periods for 20 minutes. Titans just mail it in. And we've seen it twice in 5 games. We saw it against Dogs week 2. And now we've seen it against the shit Dragons side in 10 minutes. It wasn't even 20. It was 10 minutes. They conceded 3 tries. Fucking write-off. Titans, if you have a top 8 ticket and you're following my ladder, I'm sorry. I've slipped Titans last. Genuinely, they're last right now. Because ever since I called them out, all of a sudden, they've proved to me why they're garbage. And week after week, they become worse. All right, you lost the Dolphins. Dolphins had to win one. Sure. I'll give you that. But this game, nah, bro. That was the last straw for me. I can't even look at Titans after this. I'm sorry, Clarky. Drink break. On to my favorite team. Where are they? Cockle-doodle-doo. I was saying it this week. This lid is almost their colour. Cockle-doodle-doo. The Sydney Roosters get up over the Brisbane Broncos 26 to 16. Let's start with Brisbane. Way too high variance. And they're legit Titans. I guess this is a second clip. You know what? I'm clipping a lot this week because for anyone that watches also the NBA reviews and stuff, there's not much NBA, if any. And there's going to be a lot of clips from the podcast, and the results went my way. So, I have a lot of entertainment for you guys. So, hope you guys enjoy. Let's start with this. Brisbane are just a talented Titans. There is nothing about this team right now that shows structure. And I think they're fantastic. Their lineup is incredible. They're able to score, unlike most teams in the competition. And they can just put teams away. But Roosters have shown in this game, if you get them in the battle, they fold. And they folded. There was no reason for Roosters to win. Roosters were scaring down the barrel of 5, and absolutely gone. Season finished. Even when Sam Walker comes back, it doesn't matter. And you guys had an opportunity to keep up with Dogs, keep up with Melbourne, solidify that top 3, and solidify what I said, that you 3 teams are now the upper tier. But it's only 2 now. I know every week Melbourne and Dogs will win. Unless they play each other or they have a shit spot. I.e. Dogs going to Brisbane, Melbourne going to Cronulla, Melbourne going to Manly. I don't know, Dogs going to Manly or Cronulla, stuff like that. Against a good team. But Brisbane has been striked off. They're part of everyone else. I mean, I knew they were high variance, but I thought their skill would get over them the line. But their skill is something that needs to be contained. So, I'm going to call out Maguire. This is going to be fucked. Anyway, Madge, I actually love you as a coach, and I wish Tigers kept you. But right now, the players are steering this club, and you need to steer it off them. This team, in my mind, looks the same as it was under Kevy. There is no difference with these cunts. Okay, they're good. But you're telling me with Kevy in this team, Kevy as coach, and Ben Hunt, they wouldn't already be fourth? They're just talented. You actually haven't instilled much at all. Is their defense better? Not really. Is their attack any better? It's the same. They make a lot of errors, but they have great moments and great periods of time that they score a lot of points. This is the exact same team. And the concern is everyone is now so high on them. Everyone's so high on them, but it's the same as what it was before. I do not see Brisbane being as favoured as they should be. I think they can win, and they can win the comp. Of course they can. This is obviously all without Ezra Mann, but I think this is the same team. And will take time for Madge? Of course it will. I get it. But right now, Madge is not doing much. Led by the players. And that's a concern. If it's led by the players, you know that it's going to be the same old Brisbane. That end of the year, they're going to get too tired, and that's it. Madge really needs to take this as of right now. All right, this loss was huge. Let's go to Warriors and absolutely dismantle them, which would be a wish for me. But overall, go dismantle them. But it looks the same to me. Sorry, Brisbane fans, but it's the truth. It looks the same. Let me know if you guys don't think so, but to me, it looks exactly the same. On to the Roosters fun. Shout out, J-Maz. My concerns are always about the Roosters every single year, and I give them praise. What a win. They showed exactly what I thought they would, not give up, and just fucking usually piss me off in these scenarios because I'd be like, why would Roosters show up? But I've learned better. I've learned better, and just take them and take the points and be happy with it because I know these fucking idiots are going to go win. But there is concerns. Of course there is. This halfback, Salva, looks great. He kicks the ball long. You guys pin him down your own half. Just wait until you give a few penalties away in your own half. Sure, it's fine. But all you guys have become now is an ambush team. And I kind of feel you guys are similar to Dragons. I'm trying to pair all these teams together because I'm watching it every week and I'm like, all right, this team is clearly more talented, but why do they play like this team? And, okay, that's all they are. They have more skill. All right, they Roosters play better against the good teams. Okay, we'll put them with Dragons. Dragons typically play great against the shit cunts. That's all Roosters are. They've ambushed twice, and 3 losses they've just lost because they're just not good. And when Ralbo actually goes out and tells them, wake up, they're like, all right, we'll go beat Brisbane. And everyone will be like, oh, we still can make the grand final. Let's go buy. Bro, how many posts this week did you guys see of, oh yeah, let's go buy grand final tickets for Roosters? What the fuck? A week ago, you guys lost the Titans. What was their other loss? Warriors. They've lost one more. I forget. I have to look it up because these cunts are fucking disabled. And now they want to buy grand final tickets. Rabbitohs. With no one. Last week when I annihilated you guys and said, you played that spine and we saw Cowboys win. But you played that spine and you couldn't do anything. And now you beat Brisbane and everyone thinks you're gangsters again. It's just the same. So I already know what's going to happen next week. You guys are so predictable because now you play Penrith again, knowing you beat them last time. And Penrith are off 5 losses. Roosters going to go fuck it up. It's classic. It's literally classic. Nothing in my mind doubts Penrith, and I'm going to keep backing them because I know who they're playing. And the only team to really realistically give them a win is Roosters because, you know, they give a penalty, they give 2 penalties. They have a young halfback. He doesn't do the kicks as well as he did in the first game. Typically that happens. Once they play their first game, they look great, and then they fuck it up. So I know Roosters, they're just going to go fuck it up and shoot everyone's hopes. I don't know how you can be a Roosters fan. There's some of these teams that are just like, it's actually impossible to root for because week in, week out, it just depends on what happens in the first 10 minutes. Clearly I still have it, but don't matter because this podcast has to go on because past these 3 games is going to be great. But this was a win for Premium because 14 was just way too many, like I said. But I didn't expect them to win, but they won outright. Shout out to the Roosters fans. Enjoy your win this week. Not going to take that away from you, but you're just an ambush team at this point. Making the 80s out the window. You guys suck ass. So that's enough for that. Drink break. Might be the drink. I don't know. All right. Let's get into probably my best prediction so far in 2025. Sharks defeat the Manly Seagulls in Perth, 24-18. Unders again, relevant. Fucking unbelievable. Let's start with Cronulla. First of all, I reckon anyone that wants to drop Kennedy truly needs to look at themselves in the mirror. That's step one. Kennedy has to be there. He was fantastic in Perth. And he's been fantastic, I would say, half the games. Better than Hines in all of them. So I don't think there's any reason to go, we're going to get rid of him. Why? Why? Tell me why. He's played great. And in all the games, he's had really bad positions to catch the ball, caught them, made some great line breaks, scored many tries from the back line himself. I don't know. That's my first call. Second call, I think Sharks are warming up. Everyone's going to kill me on the comments of this because I'm going to say Sharks are warming up, but that's my take. Sharks still haven't played their best, and they're 3-3. And everyone, well, they have 3 losses. So does half the fucking league. So not many teams are, only one. And only one other team is on 1. Everyone else is 2 or more. And Sharks are 1 win from that. So are Manly. So they're not that far behind. Behind the top 2, yeah, maybe that's a stretch. They're going to have to beat them. But Sharks are warming to the task. Were they great again? No. Have they proved anything against the top teams? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, this is what they need to do. And I said this when they lost to Bulldogs. Go beat 5 bums, start again. Come back and show me something different. And now it's part of their 5 bums. Manly aren't a bum team. Bad spot for Manly. Bad spot for Cronulla as well. And I could see why this number was right on 6 because it could have went either way. But I think Sharks are really warming to the task and slowly figuring out with everyone how we're going to play. And I think the biggest in will be Iro when he comes back because Haradi is alright, but he ain't no Iro. And that's when that edge is really lethal. So I think from Cronulla's standpoint, enjoy your win, like I said to everyone else. Wasn't that impressive. You guys have proven you guys are just better than these shit teams. Manly's not shit, but Manly was shit on the day. And I don't think it's a big deal. This kind of became a nothing game with the outs. If Turbo had played, and to be honest, if this was at Shark Park, I know Perth got a big crowd, but just took away from the game itself. I think like games like Manly and Sharks should genuinely just always be at home. I feel like they messed up the schedule. Put Para Raiders there. I know these cunts are obligated to play in fucking Darwin, but like those side of games, not crosstown rivals. This rivalry should have been at Shark Park, and you would have got a maxed out crowd of 12,000. I know everyone's going to say that, but it just should be there. It's that type of game. That game should have been Saturday night, Sharks Manly. And they wanted to play in Perth, sure, but it kind of took away from the contest itself. Sharks, like I said, you guys are warming to the task. Can you guys be better? A lot better. Yes. Are you guys playing awful? You're playing good enough to beat the Bums, but you're not playing good enough to beat anyone good. Do you guys have 4 more games against Bums? I don't know, but you might. I think you do. So, are you going to go on a run, like I said? Probably. So, I just wouldn't bet against Sharks. And the other thing is, they kind of let teams back in the game. One of these games, that's just not going to happen. And I think it's coming up soon. They're going to just annihilate someone, and that's it. Like, they won't let them score. Sharks defensively looked great, so I guess I can go over to Manly. This is the first game I kind of felt like Manly haven't been able to score in a long time. And Turbo not being there is obviously point A, of course. But I just think, like I said, it's just a terrible spot for Manly. And they only lost by 6, but they should have lost by more. And it's just Sharks being idiots. So like I said, this nothing of a game, because the 2 intercepts that Manly... It's the drink. The 2 intercepts that Manly scored, like, Cronulla could have scored. That's a 12-point swing. And if it's a 12-point swing the Sharks' way, everyone's going to yell at Manly and be like, oh, you guys were awful. They were. They were really bad. Did I expect it? Yeah. That's why I laid 5, because Manly is just a terrible spot. Now they're going to go home. Fortunately, they play the biggest layup in the competition, Dragons. And I'm sorry, Dragons fans, but it's just the truth. I know you guys are going to go fuck it up. And that's just what's going to happen. Manly will win that game. They're back to 4-3. Like this, I feel like we're going through the motions. And Manly and Sharks are going through the motions. They're not playing great. They're not playing shit. They're good enough to beat the Bums. And against each other, it's pretty close. That's it. We're going through the motions with Sharks and Manly. And we're going to continue going through the motions until both teams are full strength, and they are the challengers of the competition. And they will be the challengers because all these other teams are bums. And we've seen them play like bums. And they will continue. And anyone... Now I know what's going to happen. Everyone's going to come back as Raiders fans. Warriors fans are going to disappear. Knights fans, those cunts are gone. Parramatta never had a chance. South fans are going to disappear a little bit, but they have injuries, so they're not going to say much. All the Cowboys fans will come back. Dolphins fans will come back. Penrith fans will go away. You know what I'm saying? Titans fans will go away. It's all the fucking same garbage. Next week, all of it's going to change. I'm going to have a new clientele. I'm going to have new comments screaming at me. I watch this week in, week out, every single week. And these teams are just going through the motions. And Manly and Cronulla are good teams going through the motions. They know they can beat all these bombs. It's just going to happen. Don't give me any contest against Dragons and Titans and fucking Dolphins. All these cunts that are contenders, Knights and fucking Warriors, yeah. They're all contenders, but they will not compete. And that's why I made the video. The 6 teams are better. Yeah, they're not playing great. None of these teams are playing great. The only fans that should be in our comments saying, we can win the comp, we're going to make the top 4, are Melbourne fans, Dogs fans. Everyone else, you cunts have problems. There is not one team outside of them that is playing good. Everyone has their own fucking flaws. At some point, they fuck up. And they will pinpoint, because I love Manly, and I do like Cronulla as well, they will pinpoint these teams every single fucking time as soon as they fuck up. But every other fucking team fucks up. Every team. So don't come at me. Manly, Sharks, going through the motions. Manly, don't take much away from this shit travelling trip. They're going to annihilate Dragons, don't get me wrong. And Sharks, here comes their 5 wins. Get it out of the way. Let's go play a good side. On to the next team. Drinks break. Oh, I shouldn't drink it. It's kind of felt a little bit... Maybe just one sip. But I feel like the watermelon's like getting it up. All right. The only game I actually lost on from Saturday, Sunday was this one. And because I underrate Cowboys. And you know what? Do show. Let's start with South. Lost to themselves. Simple as that. They actually had them. And what's interesting is people will be in my comments, nah, bro. Warrior, you said Cowboys. There was one prick that went into my comment section of the first video and said, what do you think about Cowboys coming last? When I took them off the bottom in the newest video anyway. I'm like, you never know. What is to know in this sport right now? You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And South gave them the game. South literally had him nose to tail. They had him in front. It was nip and tuck. It was close. One of the worst calls, which I'm not going to say anything about. Bennett didn't say anything about it, so there's nothing for me to say about it. But that wide and head high, or whatever that fuckwit gave, unbelievable. On Dearden, that wasn't even close. He took the ball out, but anyway. And then error in the 10, error in the 10, error in the 10. It sounds like another team who played today, but error in the 10, error in the 10, error in the 10. And Cowboys score off the error. And it wasn't that they scored off, they took a set and scored. It was literally they picked up the ball and scored. Like that particular tackle. South said could do nothing. So I think South shot themselves in the foot. And was it the wrong side? I still think Souths are better than Cowboys. Because what people need to understand is Cowboys, through this whole period, have pretty much been full strength. This is it. This is what they have. And you're telling me you beat Souths by 8 and they made those errors? If I told you South's first tackle would give the ball to, I don't know, was it Purdue? And they streaks away and scores, or the one that they thought they were going to give, they thought the ref was about to blow the whistle. That try was amazing. For a late shot, decided not to blow it, and as he watches Purdue walk through the team. Like, all right, advantage played. I'm not saying anything about that, but you're not going to get that every week, Cowboys. And you take away those 2 tries, you lose the game. So I don't think they played great. Cowboys fans, again, now they're all going to come to my comments and be like, nah, we're 3 wins, 3. You guys suck. Just say it the way it is. Not that Souths don't either. Souths are awful. But they're playing better. And I still think they're better than Cowboys. Latrell Mitchell was playing 5'8". And like I said last week, their spine was a bit better this week with Ewan Aiken. And whoever else was playing center on the... Wyden was there, and Tass and Johnson was back. It was better than what they played against Roosters, fascinatingly. But it's still not great. It's still not full strength. It's still not what they're looking for. And this particular team was out without Humphreys, without Walker, and without Campbell Graham. On the Cowboys front, who was out? Is there even a player that didn't play that played last week? I'm trying to think. No. Bateman. Who cares? Now I started. I don't think there's anything to be impressed by if you're a Cowboys fan. But again, enjoy your win. Enjoy your loving comments, because I'm going to love them all. Like them. Love them. But you guys aren't good. There's nothing good about Cowboys. South, a reality check. All right, you're 4-1. Take a breather. Pump the brakes on South. Another team that we're going to win a finals. Shut up. Relax a little bit. You need players, first of all, to get to the finals. That's step 1. Step 2, just breathe a little bit. It's okay. You can't win every game. You're not Dogs. You're not Melbourne. You're not going to win every... Even Melbourne lost to Dragons. They're not going to win every game. South deserve to lose based on their stupid errors. Like I said in the reel as well, they were fine. I don't think they played that bad. To have Jaden Sullivan and Latrell in your halves is shit on its own. And like I said, I couldn't take Cowboys. And if those errors didn't happen, Cowboys would have lost. So did I take the wrong side? Obviously, it's not money in your account. I get it, but I don't think it was the wrong side. I would take South again, because South had them most of the game, and then they made those stupid errors. And some would say Cowboys pressure, but Cowboys don't even know how to put pressure on another team, so don't give me that garbage. I'm not going to drink this time. There's clearly problems. All right, the last game on Saturday, this one was a spectacle. This is when it begins, of me being so accurately right. From this point going forward on the podcast, everything I said happened. Raiders 5-0 against Para 12. First of all, whatever you cunts have contract-wise to go play to Darwin, I would rip it up immediately. If you play one more game in Darwin, it's an automatic loss. It's It's hilarious. It's an actually automatic loss. They go to Darwin, just play it against them. Para's going to lose. Don't worry. You can put $1 million on them, they'll lose. They're something new in Darwin. I mean, the humidity, it just doesn't suit Para at all. Like, not having the forwards, it's being humid. You guys just don't have anything. Now, in this particular match, you didn't have anything. And that's why I'm giving you a pass. Dylan Brown, yeah, he scored. He's still playing shit. Hawkins kicked that one out on the full, which was really funny. And Raiders, here come the Raiders fans. Charles Kroon. All right, we're back. We're in the top 4. We put Para 50. Okay, sure. Raiders fans are back. It's hard for me to say conclusively Raiders will make the 8. I think they're in there right now for me with one other team who played on Sunday, as the 6 is already in. Like, for you guys that don't watch the podcast often and you're on this one because of the title of me saying Warriors suck ass, probably. The 6 teams, Melbourne, Dogs, Brisbane, Manly, Cronulla, Penrith, they might make it, but I think they will. Then there's 2 spots. And I think right now it's occupied by Tigers and Raiders, which we'll get to Tigers, but I think it's Tigers and Raiders. Will there be another team because Penrith's not there? Who knows? But let's just say that's my top 8 right now. I'd still have Penrith in there. That's not the right order. I could change the order, whatever it is. But I got Raiders in there because they do show heart. They're not talented. They're talented to a level, but they're not anything near the 6 teams. Maybe not include 5 teams. I'm going to stop saying 6, 5. They're good enough. They play good against them. They play good up to their competition. They beat the Bombs, which we've seen. They like to keep games tight. They throw the footy around. I think what Raiders let them down in those 2 games that they just didn't throw the footy around enough. Offloading worked in Vegas against Warriors, which anything would have worked after today. But that worked, and it seems to be working for them. And against a Para team who just doesn't know how to fucking tackle, basically, it worked so well. And I think they just blew it out of the water. Great conditions for Raiders. The team that is in a colder climate to a team that's in a hotter climate just looked better. And that's because Raiders and Ricky Stewart knows how to coach. Riles is still a question mark. Yes, you're without Moses. Yes, you're without Lomax. Understandable, but the middle of the park is where I'm concerned. I hope Madison gets to like another play. I know there was a few injuries. That's why Madison went in, but he needs to be there. Cartwright, I'd bring him back as well. You need the experience. Like, these young boys are playing okay, but some of the decision-making on the edges, tackling-wise, just shit from Para. And Raiders are going to put you away for that. They have a good kicking game. They have great forwards, which was such a mismatch, and it clearly showed. And Para didn't have much of anything. I don't think anyone played great. Lots of errors. Shit kick game from Hawkins or whoever was kicking. Alungi's probably worst game I've seen him play as a rookie so far. They were awful. Sorry, Seabass, but I understand why they're favourite bookies-wise because they only have 1 win, but to come last, I'm saying. But I don't think they'll come last because I think with Moses and Brown, Moses and Lomax, they're much better. And you move some of the back line around, you get some better players. It works. And if that's bringing back Madison and Cartwright as well, and Riley Smith plays hooker, you're fine. You will not come last. Because, yeah, they're going to quit some of these games, but they're going to ambush and beat teams like Dragons or beat teams like Titans or beat teams like, I don't know, Warriors or Knights. Like, they can win those games. It's possible. And they've been close in most of their games at all their games at Bankwest. Besides the Tigers one. But they were close in the other 2. Dogs, they had them on the ropes. They just couldn't score. And they beat Dragons. So they're going to win games. So it's going to happen. So don't take much away. Obviously, your season's done. Any Para fan, anyone that's going to come in and say, oh, no, you said Para. They're not. They're not good. They're shit house. They're not going to make the 8. Not saying anything about that. But can you guys not come last? I think it's possible. Raiders, prove me wrong. I think you guys should make the 8 right now. But obviously, what's going to happen is now you're going to go fucking lose. Let's just figure out who you're playing. Because I don't want to say that and then you play someone good and then everyone says, oh, fucking some garbage. Titans. Ugh. That's a huge tell of a game. That's on Easter as well. Wow. I mean, wow. What do you even take in that? Anyway, that's for the preview. Jesus. Okay, Raiders, you should win that, but fuck me. Titans, have they really mailed it in already? That's the question. I don't know. But Raiders, great win, great performance, lots of points. Para's not going to get as annihilated as everyone thinks they are. They obviously didn't have 2 of their 3 best players, so I'm not going to say much about them. They're shit. Everyone knows they are. There's not much to say about Para. Should they have conceded 50? Yeah, they deserve to. They're fucking atrocious. All right. This is it. How do I start this off? This, section... Maybe let me clear my throat. Cleared. A lot of people have now moved to this part of the video because of what I said at the start. 45 minutes in, this is probably the most entertaining part of the podcast. We go to Sunday, Melbourne, how many? Let's see. I forget. Was it 42 to 14? I feel like something like that. 42 to 14. I wonder if any of them will come back. Do they have the balls to come click on this video after raiding our comment section last time? I don't know if they do. Let's start with Melbourne. We've said this so many times on the podcast, but for new viewers, you won't get it. Truly, they don't even try. And when people say, oh, bro, what do you mean? Every game they don't give a fuck. They just do not care. And literally at this point, they're that good in most games. Yeah, they lost the Dragons game. They're that good. They annihilate them in the first half, and that's it. It's done. They literally, Hughes played half a game. There's a shoulder thing, but I think he'll play next week. I don't think there's any problems, but we'll see. Because he did it in the 20th minute and kept playing and make sure that Warriors were finished. And then Bellamy was like, all right, they're down. It's 36-0. Fuck off. If you're going to hurt your shoulder again, can't be bothered. Can't be bothered not being able to score, which they couldn't score again in the second half. Anyway, without Hughes. But literally, they beat a team in half a game. And I'll get to a stat in the Knights game, which is fucking hilarious. The commentary of the Knights game told me that once they scored their try right at the end. But holy shit. They're just lethal. And it's just... everything is one offload away. You just... offload, they're fucked. That's it. Try. It's so insane. And Melbourne Dogs is going to be a great contest because Dogs defensively have great structure. The reason I'm saying Melbourne in that sort of contest is these guys don't even play to structure. Yeah, they can backline shift. Yeah, of course they can do that. But their long range ability is incredible. One offload, Pappy gets it, finds Coates, and that's it. They're gone. Away. That's it. And everyone supports, everyone's there. It's just an annihilation, just like that. And their spine is fantastic, and that's why they can do it. But everyone else is playing great. Warbrick and Meaney also to come back to this team. And Nelson. Whoa, bro. The league needs to be scared of this team. They are absolutely incredible. When on, fuck playing them. And Dolphins next week, they can't match it. No one can match Melbourne offensively. Dolphins can score, but these cunts are just something new. So, shout out to Melbourne. Still favourites for me to win the comp. Absolutely incredible on offense. Yes, there's defensive problems. Yes, there's problems without Hughes. But if Hughes is there most of the year, whoo, and gets the finals, wow, they are flying. They can score from anywhere at any point. No problems. It's an offload away. I think, it's not a saying, but it's my saying now. Everything is an offload away from Melbourne. If they offload, watch out. It's just, oh, shit. All right. To the G's. If any of you had the balls to join this podcast, I want to thank you, first of all, for joining because you guys are dead. Warriors genuinely could still come last. Like I said, these cunts suck. And, all right, Fisher-Harris goes down. I don't know who else went off HIA, whatever. Ford gets that stupid call, which it was a penalty and it was a sin bin because it was Pappy, but whatever. But the freeway, even before Fisher-Harris went off, you had 10... Like, I couldn't believe how much ball you had on the Melbourne line. Couldn't score at all. Like, and the reason we took the minus and the total points, one, because it was 2 p.m, the points are going to go over, which just went actual over, but we went over the try before, like 2 tries before that, which was good. But I was going to send out the spread because these teams coming off the bye go back to their roots. The bye is actually a curse. Let's see what happens with Dogs, wherever their flag thing is. Because the bye is becoming a curse. Warriors, offensively, outside of round 1, looked great. Then they had a mini bye, right? They had that Vegas bye. Round 1, they were awful. They had the bye, and they were like, oh, we can figure out how to score. And these motherfuckers go win 3 games, and now everyone thinks they have hope. And now they're back to the same shit. Unbelievable. Yeah, incredible how you guys cannot cross the goal line. And then one thing that Hussein did mention about the Warriors, which Warriors fans usually keep their head high on this, but they can't defend themselves. I don't know how. I genuinely want to know in the comments how you guys are going to defend yourselves this week because it was fucking atrocious. Defensively, it looked like Titans. All right. I'm not going to put you guys down to the level of Titans. No way, because Titans lost to Dragons. You're playing Melbourne. But flimsy, paper thin, atrocious. And middle of the park stuff. Not the edges. You weren't really getting beaten around too much. Yeah, there was a few. But Liero, King, that King try. I mean, awful line defense. How can you just sit there and go, yeah, we're gonna get Metcalf to tackle Josh King? What? How? It's not even why. Like, why? Where's the other defense? Atrocious. Harry Grant pulled the strings. That Liero try. King, literally, if he had speed, which he doesn't, he could have walked through the line. But he saw an offload and saw, here you go, Liero, here's your try. Gave it to him, and Liero goes and scores. At halftime, these guys were up 36-0. 6 tries, 6 goals. Absolutely breezing past this team. And Warriors, it's the same shit. Now the Warriors fans will disappear because they have nothing to say to me. But I feel like I have vengeance in this game. Finally, they got annihilated. Finally, everyone realizes, all right, well, these cunts are actually really bad. And they are really bad. For anyone that's a Warriors fans, you guys aren't good. The injuries are piling up. Truly, coming last is not out of the question for you cunts. And because the league is so open, a few losses and you guys will slip down the table and be like, oh, shit. Because Tuivasa-Sheck's out for another, 4 weeks. A pectoral injury for Fisher-Harris, probably at least 4 weeks. You play Brisbane next, and then I think you play Titans on Anzac Day, or Knights. I mean, I would be scared. The Broncos game's going to be awful for one, because Broncos are going to be pissed, and Walsh is back in New Zealand, so good luck. And Knights, can they figure out how to score between them? That's going to be a battle of who can score all of a sudden. But halves look awful, have no kick game, but it wasn't that because I knew that already. What I was concerned was how easy they walked through the middle of the park. And it was just a breeze. And Melbourne don't really have a big pack. They have good players, they make good meters, but they don't have a big pack. Warriors made them look like ginormous today. They looked like they had the Hulk. It was just a walk through the middle of the park. So, Warriors fans in the comments, go nuts. Tell me they played Melbourne and this is all going to turn around and, it's just a bad week off a bye. Sure. But in my eyes, you can't still suck ass. And I don't think anything's changed. I kind of saw this coming. Everyone that went in my comments and said, nah, Warriors, give them a chance to make the 8. I think TikTok had this more. I was like, so how come you guys are 16-point underdogs to a top 8 team? Do you think Manly, Cronulla, Dogs, Brisbane, Penrith even, would be 16-point dogs? No. So the bookies know you guys aren't good. So anyone that comes at me and says, nah, they're better than what everyone perceives. They're not. They're just not. They're not better. And I don't think they can get any better than what they were. They might stay on 3 wins for a little while. Don't be surprised. I could see them losing to Brisbane for sure. I can see them losing to Knights. And then everyone will be like, oh, they're 4 and... Oh, fuck. We're 3 and 4. And everyone, all the G's will disappear. Shout out the G's, bro. I wish well for Warriors. I don't actually have hate for Warriors at all. The main hated team is these idiots. Because I know they're going to mess it up. But I actually like Warriors. But going into the year, having Chanel, Harris, Tavita, and Metcalf just shows to me these guys suck. Like, you cannot do that. And slowly but surely, we will perceive and show what they're made of. All right, 56 minutes in. We have 1 game to go. My upset alert. Those guys right there. Obviously, they're my team as well. So shout out the West Tigers. Shout out all the fans. We got our upset win. Upset alert wins. Now, it was an upset. So anyone that's going to come at me and be like it wasn't. It was this morning even. They were $2.05 around 10 a.m. No. Around 12 p.m. today. It wasn't 10, 12. So there was a lot of push. And it concerned me because Tigers moved from plus 3.5 at $1.97. And I think I have the overlay. So I'm going to go back and look at it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. To favoritism. They were minus 1.5. They were literally $1.80. I think one of my mates from gym saw $1.80 on tab head to head at one point, and they won, which is weird because that usually doesn't happen. It should, but it doesn't. Tigers weren't good. Let me get this straight. They can play a lot better. The main problem, Luai is still learning 7. It's fine. I think he's doing the right thing by learning that role, but he's not what Luai was, right? He's learning how to play 7, which is absolutely fine. I don't want anyone to say I'm hating on him. I think he's trying to learn that managing type of player. That's fine. Because you have Galvin. You're going to have to be the manager. Galvin is something new. But Tigers can play a lot better, and they still beat this team by, I want to say 20-0. I know it was 20-4, but it's 20-0 in my eyes. Didn't look like letting Knights score. Knights offense, we'll get to them. But Tigers are definitely in the 8. They're a chance. Like, I don't think anyone can take them out. 3-2, have lost the Broncos game. They're a great team. Nothing side away. And they lost the Knights game, which they got revenge for. And like I've said a million times about that Knights game, I feel like they have another loss. They can't be 3. They're surely 3-3. I feel like they have another loss. 1 second. I'm forgetting one. Warriors. Well, we got to them. Yeah, Warriors by 2, Knights by 2, and absolutely smoked by Brisbane. Warriors, that was probably their worst performance. Knights, they didn't have Coruscant and Buller. And Broncos just got annihilated, and no Luai. Every other game they've played pretty good. And they've looked good. They look good defensively, which is odd. And they continue to just win games. And what's interesting about Tigers is, you know that point where Tigers were up 8-0? Old Tigers would concede. Some penalty, some garbage, and concede. Something dumb. But they didn't. They scored again. Buller scored that great single individual try. 12-0. And 14-0, sorry, kicked that one. At that point, I was like, Tigers concede 1, they'll start shaking a little bit. They didn't. They just held station, kept going. It's really good. Like, I was like, wow, I was impressed. And then they took the 2, which, look, Jared Sutton, like, there wasn't that many scruffles, so I didn't understand why Sinbin, Gaga, and Toa. But anyway, sure. They took the 2 off that. And that was it. Like, Knights made an error, they scored again. They scored with Dallin De Silva, which they didn't give, but just very well controlled and almost like Penrith-like, which They looked more like Penrith than Penrith did, which is incredible. Like, it was just a game that they didn't look like losing from the start. Yeah, there were moments in the first 20 minutes that Knights had the front foot and they kept betting them back, but once they pushed them away, the Knights just like kind of went into their kennel and they were just like, all right, we're all right. Don't kill us. Like, it's like 5 Tigers went after him and they were like, oh, when we only got 2 swords, like we can't, just leave us alone. Just take a win and leave. Like, Tigers like kind of just baited and got the points, and Knights, I feel like more of the spectacle is going to be the Knights side of this. So we'll get to that now. Tigers, thank you. Great win. 2-0 on the Sunday, which was fantastic. 4-5 through the whole Saturday and Sunday. And for the round, 5-3. So a pretty good round for premium and a pretty good round for myself as well. Now, Knights, to end off the podcast. I don't know if this is going to be my favorite, but no, it is. Because, again, another team that can come last. Without Kalen, these cunts are genuinely last contenders. And they're only not last for me because they have Kalen. But he has to get the ball. And what the concern is, he's still not getting the ball. The first 2 weeks, getting the ball, lots of touches, him and Fletcher Sharp absolutely carving up. And then fucking this cunt's just... And you know what's happened? These idiots had a bye. And that bye... Before the bye, they didn't score against Titans. Look, they didn't have 2 second row. There was a lot of excuses that game. Titans suck as well. But after the bye, they've scored a total of 4. What was an interesting stat? I think Vossi said it. So shout out to the Fox Sports podcast. Knights have scored a total of 46 points through the whole season. I'm not joking. That's how many points they've scored. Melbourne scored that in one half. In week 1. 46. Yeah, don't get it wrong. Power were down 46-6 at halftime. Knights have scored that many points in 5 matches. Holy fuck, they can't score. And they're just not giving Kalen the ball. It's as simple as Kalen not getting the ball. And Adam O'Brien, re-signed, whatever it is, truly is an awful coach. Just look. They go on runs. They look great. They win 10 in a row. How many seasons have we seen Knights charging home, make the finals? But what we see from them during the season is just atrocious. There is nothing from today's game that I was like, all right, can another team pull this off? No. Only Knights could lose like that. Because they just go into their shell and that's it. They're fucked. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Knights fans, how do you explain being their fan? It must be torturous. It must be the worst feeling because some weeks you guys look great. Fletcher Sharp and Kalen, you guys started the year so well, especially that Dolphins game, which really it's only been the one. Wow, it's really only been the one game. That's how bad they are. That Dolphins game looked great. The trial games looked great, but truly in the season, it's been one game that you guys have actually played good. Every other game, you scored 10, 6, 0, and 4. Absolutely, unbelievably bad on offense. Defensively is your offense. And everyone's like, oh, you kept Tigers to 8. They kept Dogs to 20, which Dogs had a lot on ball, sure. They kept Tigers to 20. But the defense can't fucking defend everything. In this sport, the way the defense is like, at some point you'll crack because the number of 6 against, the number of penalties the other team gets once you get down there. So they're going to concede. And they're not Bulldogs, one, and they're going to concede. So you need a score. Atrocious. Offensively atrocious. And with those weapons, you should be able to score. And I feel like Knights fans now really feel the frustration. The last 3 weeks has been bad. And I can't even have them. They're close to the last and they're close to the 8. I know they can defend. I know they have good players. And I know that they can play good. But do I trust them to do that? Nah. I don't trust Knights. I don't trust maybe 15 of the 17 teams. Who knows? Like I said, my comment section is now going to be filled with other fans. Warriors are going to go. Cowboys are going to come in. That's just the way the season is. And now all the Knights fans are going to come in and, I relay their sympathy because being a Knights fan is one of the worst. I think Roosters, Sharks has to be up there, and Knights. Like, Warriors, at least they made it prelim. Like, those three, holy fuck. It must be torturous because Sharks are going to be so hyped. They're going to win like 7 straight, lose to a good team. Roosters are going to be like close to the 8, get Sam Walker back, win 5 games, then maybe make the 8 like that and lose to the idiots. And Knights, like, there's spells in the season they just don't know how to score. And they don't give Kalen the ball. Kalen, I actually don't think he got 1 tackle bust. Supercoach fans will let me know that. I don't think he got 1 tackle bust today against Tigers. And that's not good defense from Tigers. Don't get it twisted. Tigers are not that good defensively to keep Kalen to 0 tackle busts. But it seemed to happen today. I think that wraps us up. Didn't go that outlandish. It's pretty hard on your own. But I hope you guys enjoyed anyway. The Warriors and the Knights segment, I'm probably going to watch like a few times over as to how much I screamed at them. But truly, Warriors and Knights fans, if you guys are in here and you want to like lay it on me in the comments, go for it. But what I've seen from your teams this week is just exactly what I thought of your teams at the start of the season. And you guys are just, nothing's changed. Like I said, nothing's changed about Dragons, nothing's changed about Titans. It's the same. It's ebbs and flows, and teams sometimes play good, teams sometimes play bad. And I know it's my job on the podcast to say who's actually playing good and who's actually playing bad, but all I can say is maybe not 6. 6 is maybe with Penrith, but 5 teams are better than everyone else. And yeah, they're going to lose games. Yeah, they're not going to win every week. I know, but they are better. And when it matters, I know they'll win. So everyone else is just a flow. Roller coasters, up and down. But I hope you guys join the Back Yourself podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. The comments, I hope, are absolutely getting me flogged or saying some garbage because I'm going to enjoy every single one of them for this podcast. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.